Hey, come on in.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, but you know what? I think
What?
we're kind of covered.
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
This is.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Ingrid, that's the camera. That's the camera.
Hi, guys.
All right. So we're focused on Nova today, but we have a special guest.
Yeah.
I feel like it's Mr. Rogers. We are here with Anita Anthony. She has been an agent with Century 21 for how long?
About 2 years.
About 2 years. Was in the Manassas office and transferred over to Fairfax. So sorry again for the delay. But our little mini computer for our regular screen isn't functioning, so we're going to wing it and make it happen the way we are. But while we were getting ready, Anita stopped in, and we've got the FSBO. FSBO stands for Sale by Owner. And a lot of people that want to go that route and skip the agent do that because they want to save on commission. And what they don't realize is all of the benefits that come into using an agent and how you can actually maximize more return on your investment. Recently, we just had one on Arlie that popped up. Oh, now the computer popped up. Anyhow, it only took a half an hour for the TV to turn on. But yeah, we had one on Arlie Drive where the guy wanted to go for sale by owner, list at $750, and while I can't say exactly what we netted, but we netted 14% over asking because of our, to your point, network exposure, who's there, competition, proper marketing,
proper negotiations,
etc. So needless to say, not only did we net what this guy wanted for himself, but we also were able to make him more money because of the expertise that an agent brought to the table. But tell us your experience. What are you doing over in Alexandria?
So right now, I actually called the for sale by owner and gave me what he wanted to net. I looked and did a CMA on my own without sharing for him. And I was just wondering, he's asking me, can you do this? Can you do that? But he obviously wants to save the commission. He's got a price in mind. But just in looking at it, I explained to him that, you're not going to get what you're wanting. And he's overpriced for what the market is doing now because we are seeing a slight slowdown. So you have to price the property to sell plus the exposure.
Right.
And he's getting hits on it from mostly agents. I did get an appointment, but I didn't share the information that I'm going to do without, giving away the goodies.
Yeah.
But
it's
I
like
think,
dating.
yeah, exactly. Don't give away the cookies.
No matter what, they're not going to get the exposure.
Yes.
That they get with an agent.
Definitely so. Definitely.
So, I mean, there is something to be said for experience
and
knowledge,
marketing, negotiations,
actually
setting expectations on both sides so that it's a win-win for everyone involved.
Right. So what's your game plan here? Without giving away address or anything else, what's your strategy when speaking with the for sale by owner? Because I can say that when I was going with my listing, I'm talking to the guy, and this is not somebody who's, he's a very intelligent person. I mean, they've bought houses, they're military, they get it, they are capable. Yes, they can take pictures. Yes, they can put it on Zillow.
Yeah.
But the reality is, when we showed them what the package was and how that exposure out on 800 websites with proper marketing that looks good and not a cell phone picture and it's professionally staged and all of that stuff, we were able to then show our value on how to make that happen. So what is your approach now is with the for sale by owner in general? When you talk to him, what are you saying to him to help him kind of realize the better return on his investment by using an agent?
Well, right now what I'm doing is sharing with him, actually interviewing him to find out what he actually wants. So managing his expectations first, because it's not about me, it's about him and them and what they want. So,
and is it realistic?
So managing the expectations of, first figuring out, can I really help you? Because I don't want to waste your time or my time.
Right.
So educating the consumer, educating them about the market, the expectations of where the market is, if it's softening in your community. And it could take longer than expected, but you still have an opportunity to make the most money possible from using an agent.
Right.
So use the experience of the agent, be in communications, because that's what we're here for,
well,
to
and
educate.
Especially if the market is getting a little bit slower, which, with graduations coming up and all that, it usually gets a little bit slower, but there's still a great deal of activity out here and people looking, far more than there is inventory. And there is no way that a for sale by owner can get the exposure
Right.
to all those people out there
Right.
looking, because they're looking on Realtor.com, they're looking on Zillow.
They're
that
looking
type
at
of
the
thing.
syndicated websites,
Yeah.
which includes, I have no problem calling out competition. That includes Redfin. Redfin and Zillow are both brokerages, and
Yes.
we need those properties out there because that's where the consumer is looking. Those are the search
Right.
engines that are there, and that's what goes. And ultimately, competition drives prices to go up, and that's where we have our value: presentation and exposure.
Right.
So very interesting. Plus, I think it's interesting too, in particular where you are. I mean, there's knowledge that you as an agent can bring to the table and properly market something. I mean, in the area that you're looking in, it's a potential flood zone, marine clay soils, all of which are very scary from a water entry and foundation
Yes.
issue. So there are buzzwords that if people are aware of those areas, that you as an agent can mitigate and calm people's nerves to get more people in to realize a better sales price.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's really important. I think it's just interesting that we had the conversation while you were standing here. So,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. And the biggest takeaway also is that buyers are looking online, but they're going with an agent because it doesn't cost them anything. And they can find way more properties
And they
than
have
just looking on their own.
And they have
Yeah.
representation. They've got somebody that's
Looking out for them.
looking
Right.
out for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, thank you for having this conversation.
Conversation.
And we just want to say we love
Thank
this.
you.
We love your sparkly name tag. So thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
All right, I'm going to turn this over to Ingrid real quick to do our things to do. And in the meantime, I'm going to step out of screen because our computer turned back on so that we can actually have our background. But in the meantime, Ingrid, I'm going to have you step a little closer to the
Happy
camera.
Good Friday.
Happy Good Friday. Happy Easter, yeah. We're going to shut the door too.
Okay, so things that are happening this weekend. One of them is over at Bull Run Park, Regional Park. It's not too late to do the Bluebell Walk at Bull Run Regional Park, and they also are having a photography workshop of how you can take the best pictures with the bluebells. And I understand this is really a nice thing to do, is to take that walk. And that is tomorrow. And then we also have tomorrow the 22nd annual Easter egg hunt at Lee Findell House in Alexandria. And that should be fun as well. That's with hundreds of colorful toy-filled Easter eggs. Also includes crafts, games, Easter egg, Easter bunny, things of that sort. And there is a fee, and that is from 2 to 12, ages 2 to 12, which would be $15 or $5 for the children. Then we also have in Fairfax City tomorrow. It's called the Funky Flea Market, and it's on Armstrong Street over by the courthouse. And it is an outdoor flea market with over 60 vendors, food trucks, live music, and so much more. And it's from 9 to 2. Sounds like fun. You should go try it. And that's what's happening. There are so many Easter egg hunts out there, guys. If that's what you're looking for, get online and you will be shocked how many.
So, who is in town this week in Fairfax City?
Oh,
Go.
who's in town? At the courthouse, it is Johnny Depp and
What's
Amber.
happening?
What's
Amber
her
Heard.
name? Yes. And I tell you, they are really making a mess of the traffic. And the other day, we got stopped on our way to my grandson's lacrosse game. We're stopped there like 10 minutes before they even come. And then they come up judicial, and the window opens, and he waves his hand like, do I care? No. I want to get through this traffic. And yesterday, the same thing, yesterday morning. It's a mess. Plus, not just that, VDOT decides to do construction right in front of the courthouse where you make the entrance. So they're like two other lanes that are being blocked besides all the other mess. So that's my take on this whole crisis with them. Too bad it had to be in Fairfax County.
Which we can do. All right, so we are back up. We're going to pull like the Today Show and come over to this studio here. Ingrid, why don't you walk with us as we come over? As we put the computer screen on the boom here and twist it around. Make sure that Instagram is still looking at us like they're supposed to. Ingrid, scooch in closer. There we go. All right, we're in good shape. All right, so yeah, I think it's really interesting, and because it's a similar lawsuit that happened in Great Britain, but where he went after libel for the Sun there. But here, because she did the op-ed in the Washington Post, he's now going after her because Washington Post is here.
Yeah, but he's only going after $50 million from her. She's going after $100 million. And who's paying for all these policemen and all this baloney happening? They should. If they can sue for that amount, they should be footing the bill.
Footing the bill for the security and everything else that's there.
Yes.
So Ingrid is going to write her congressperson.
No, I already had a talk with the policeman.
Who was very good at staying neutral.
He was very nice. And I told him, I'm sorry you got me today.
And no, she didn't get pulled over for protesting.
No.
She was just conversing.
I was just expressing myself. See, that's what happens.
Expressing herself.
That's what happens when you get old. I just read a thing on MSN this morning about when you know you're getting old. It's when what's here comes out here.
I hate to say it's happening.
That's
All right.
okay.
All right, so
I feel comfortable in this body, mind.
Love you. You're so funny. All right, we're going to move on to what's happening on Focus on Nova this week. What happened this week in Focus on Nova. So Lynn did our developmental update. Very exciting things happening in Fairfax City are starting to really come to fruition. The historic Fairfax High School, which then turned into Paul VI. Paul VI vacated and went out to Loudoun on a beautiful new campus, and now they're saving the original high school to turn into like another food court type scenario, not food court, food hall scenario, kind of like the epic one down in Woodbridge, and then Eden Center over in Falls Church, Annandale, Arlington area. But behind it, you're going to start to see a lot of homes go up. NV Homes has beautiful properties going in for townhouses. We actually have a client that bought the same models out in Herndon, but it's going to be the similar models going in there. And then they also have condominiums going in. It starts, what did we find out about that?
They start at like 6-ish.
Yeah, the condos are starting in this, the 6-ish, and they're not little tiny condos. These are 2-story condos. They're stacked on top of each other. They're big. I mean, they're anywhere from...
They're 2 levels?
They're 2-level condos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that because when I talked to them, I thought their floor plans looked like 1 level.
Oh, well, I might be wrong.
Check it out. But call us first.
Yeah, call us first. I'll go with you and we'll figure that out. But the townhouses themselves are beautiful, and those are going to be starting in the high 7s, so think 8 and above, which is ultimately where they ended up landing. And they're going to be closing in 2 weeks on their place, which went under contract in September of last year. And here's a fun fact. If you are interested in getting into the new build market, Brian came in at George Mason Mortgage, had a brilliant suggestion for our clients back then. If you are going in, you can actually prepay to do an early lock-in, and they do it in increments, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. And, it's basically up to a point that you can pay. And what that means is if you're buying an $800,000 property, a point is $8,000. And it saved them thousands, because when they started, the interest rates were like 3.5, 3.2, 3.3, and they locked in at that.
They're like 4.8.
Yeah, I mean, and in some cases even higher than that. So my folks are saving a boatload of money by paying upfront for their lock, and then it gets credited towards closing. So, a hack there to save yourself on the interest rates. But yeah, lots going on in Fairfax City. Check out Lynn's article on focusonnova.com/hot and fresh news, or on any of our social medias. That's there, and it's a good read. Lynn also went through this wonderful listing that Sharon had. This is the What You Get For series. It is where we take a property in a given area, and break it down what the down payment is and what your mortgage payment is. And you would be surprised what you can actually afford and how much it costs and what the differences are, especially in this market where we're seeing people needing to waive appraisals and make
Waive
things work.
everything.
Right. We had a first-time home buyer that was prepared to put down 5% so that her monthly mortgage payment would be slightly lower. But in order to compete, they backed off, put down 3%, reserved some of that cash, waived a partial appraisal, and that was the thing that put her over. So we can get pretty creative with the funds that you have when we're working in conjunction with your lender. And this is an example of a split foyer one-car garage house in Reston on Cranberry Lane that we sold at $735,000. So take a look at that.
Maybe two. I can't remember.
It was a cute property.
Yeah, it was.
Then we get into the association violations, and we got to be careful on this. What this is that if a property is in a HOA, there are covenants that you generally have to live by. In most cases, there is an architectural review board when there's an HOA. That HOA architectural review board can go around and make sure that things are good. Now, statistically, as much as everybody rolls their eyeballs at an HOA, the reality is neighborhoods that have an HOA tend to hold their value better than those that don't.
Well, they have restrictions. They can't paint their house
purple.
Yeah, or
right.
Psychedelic
Right.
something.
So while they are up in your business all the time, they also are ensuring that the neighborhood looks cohesive, is well maintained, that you don't have the junker house that has 700 cars parked in the lawn. So what's important here is what is an HOA violation and how do you cure it, as well as why when we are selling a property, we ask our sellers to order that first thing, like immediately. Sign the listing agreement, get your HOA documents ordered, so that we can look at that up front, cure those violations, and convey the property without any type of issues to your purchaser. In the meantime, if you are a purchaser and you've got your review period of those documents, make sure that you are checking them out. Anyways, short video on that, check it out. This week on Focus on Nova, I'll be going through the market update. Ingrid kind of alluded to this earlier. It's going to be the historical look back of the March data, which, as you're going to see, the numbers are mind-blowing as far as what people have been paying for properties.
Absolutely.
I mean, 10 and 15% over asking price, mind-blowing. Saw an article not even an article, it was, of all things, an Instagram reel with Jared James, who is a real estate coach, and it was kind of an aha moment. If you look at the real estate market, National Association of Realtors just published that we have sold more inventory year over year. Each year, we sell more and more houses. And somebody on a recent forum who works for an HOA delivery resale package company, management company, made the comment, I'm doing more than ever. How come you're saying there's a shortage of inventory? The reality is, and it's saying the same thing, but it's a different concept. The demand is greater. We just can't keep up. Yes, it's a shortage, but it's just, we have millennials coming of age. They are average of 35 years old, which is prime time, starting families, getting married, and they are moving into homes, and that is what the demand is.
Well, not just that. I think also it is because we are living differently now.
We are living differently
and there are different needs that we didn't really have before.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the one lady that came over to our open house, and they were in D.C., and they said all the reasons they moved to D.C. are no longer valid for them.
Right.
So now they're looking for more space, more green, that type of thing.
Right.
And I think that has made a huge impact.
Absolutely. So check out the market update. I'll dive into the numbers and then give you some more specific numbers as to what's happening right now. That'll be coming out on Monday. We then have Lynn doing, this was a beautiful listing for Lynn, and actually a FSBO story to come full circle. Actually, was it a FSBO? It was not a FSBO story, but what it was is he was interviewing a discount realtor, and her commission was going to be significantly more than what this discount realtor was. And he says, you better find your value, or you better show me your value. So sure enough, she did it with gusto, and this house sold, I thought it sold for more. Is that what the list price was, or was it the...
No, it's
sold price? I thought it sold for 2.3.
I thought it sold for more.
All All right, well, we'll have to get into that, but the bottom line is that with proper marketing, proper staging, this particular home in Arlington, it was beautiful, newer build. These folks were going to be relocating. Lynn's going to break down $2.1 million for the sales price, but again, it showed her value. And if you go on focusnova.com/properties, you'll find this listing as well. And she has the story of how she proved her value and then some. So not only did she make back the commission that the person had to pay, but also gave him a better net over and above paying that commission. So well done, Lynn. I'll be breaking down the top 3 takeaway on Thursday for the newest shopping in Northern Virginia. So as we get into spring and it's time to grab your coffee in the morning and hit the shops, we'll be trying to figure out some new boutiques that you can take a look at and support your local vendors. And then things to do this weekend. Couple things. I would say you could spy on the court, but that's going to be closed. But the biggest thing that we've got going on is this
Please don't
wonderful.
spy on the court.
Yeah.
This makes traffic worse.
Spare Ingrid the traffic. Don't go and try to get a glimpse of Johnny Depp and Amanda Heard. But what we're going to have this weekend is Maura Stevens of the group is going to be holding our beautiful listing, Lynn and I's beautiful, beautiful listing over in Greenbrier. This is on 13127 Mercury Lane in the Greenbrier neighborhood, which is just so popular. It's zoned for Little Rocky Run and Chantilly High School with, it's a couple, not even a mile away from the commuting lot, 66, Stringfellow, 50, 29,
Parkway.
Okay. Shopping's everywhere. And this one has been unbelievably renovated. We're talking newer roof, newer HVAC system, water heaters newer. The kitchen was taken completely down, new cabinets, granite countertops. Appliances are 2016. We did not replace those because those were newer. We put in luxury vinyl planking throughout the upper and lower level, and it's beautiful and neutral. This gorgeous brick hearth fireplace with wood-burning stove. Primary bathroom and hall bathroom were completely renovated. New subway tile, vanity, frameless doors in the showers, fixtures, everything. It's beautiful, just beautiful. Windows are sliding doors new.
1-car garage.
Yeah, 1-car garage. They put in a gorgeous slate patio in the back, and then redid the front walkway and porch as well in slate. So it's just a really great opportunity to get in, and it's listed at $740,000. You can pop in and see that anytime with Maura between 11 and 3 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday. This is part of an estate, so the trustee for the estate has set an absolute hard deadline, won't even talk about negotiation until Monday at noon. That is the deadline for offers. And we would be able to notify everyone that afternoon as far as the decision that the trustee makes for the estate. So that's what's happening there. Other than that, we've got Easter on Sunday.
Yeah.
Coming to your house for brunch. What can I bring?
Nothing. I've got it all under control.
All under control. All right. Well, we'll be bringing Easter baskets for the littles, and then I was going to swing by the dollar store so they could do a scavenger hunt too in your yard. So that's fun.
Absolutely.
And then, as an order of familial
It's
business.
supposed to be a little bit cooler.
Okay.
Sunday, like 55.
Is it raining?
No.
Okay, so
Not
then we'll
till
have a
Monday.
nice day. But then Ginny wants to do an Easter egg hunt that morning with the littles, so we're going to do that and then come over.
Okay.
I'll bring deviled eggs.
We'll have eggs on eggs on eggs.
Okay, then I won't bring deviled
No,
eggs.
it's okay. I'm only having.
I'll save it for
I'm
later.
having quiche, and I'm having like a French toast casserole thing.
Yum.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I know.
So we're going over to Mimi's house for Easter. We hope that you guys have a fabulous weekend. If you do celebrate Easter, happy Easter to you. It's Ramadan as well, so for those celebrating Ramadan, have fun fasting and having your fun at night. But we wish y'all well. If you have anything in the real estate market that you need questions and answers for, you know where we are. FocusOnNova.com. Have a good one.
Bye.